Can we get everyone to us?
Right, my name is Anne Marie. Hi, Anne Marie. That's right.
Joy, that is.
All right. It's just good.
This is our Wednesday night channeling. I think it's number 122. We've been turning the place upside down, so I don't know. I couldn't find a couple of tapes, so we'll call it number 122, and the title is called Finding Yourself. This subject could be like a dog chasing his tail. I say this in jest, but it does have a ring of truth. When you find yourself, you find the key to the universe, for you are universe. What a glorious day it is as you awaken to the true reality. You must first lay down your burden. As you release the expressions of life that you call troubling problems, the worry nagging at you, you make room for the divine light of understanding to fill your being, giving you the answers. To find yourself is to go nowhere or do no thing. Yes, you find this difficult because you are in the habit of thinking that you have to work to manifest that which you desire. My dear ones, God is continuously holding out the whole kingdom to you, and all you need do is reach out and take it. The Father wants you to have any and all you desire, for it truly is His desire to fulfill your life with the abundance full to overflowing. When your heart is filled with love, divine light, it is much easier for life to fill your cup, pressed down and overflowing. As you find yourself, find the whole of life, and there is no shortage or lack in God's kingdom. We always start with writing a little bit. Would you like to test our life? And I'll be honored. Let's start tonight by holding your palms, your hands on your thighs like this, and using our technique of breathing through the palms, up the arms, and into the higher glands in the head, and then out through your whole body and your feet. And let's start by breathing light, divine light, and ask to be cleansed of all past negation. Use your imagination vividly and see and feel divine light coming into your palms, up your arms, your head, and on the out breath, going all the way through your body. Now, you know that you are a multi-dimensional being, and so you have many finer bodies. In your mind's eye, see all of these finer bodies, the same as your physical. Divine light going into the palms of many, many bodies, to the heads and out the feet. Light is a symbol of understanding and wisdom. Feel your mind being filled with God's love and light and healing power. And the same for your total being, all of your finer bodies, all the way up to the higher self, and then on up to the throne of God. Now for healing, let us visualize purple light in the same way. In your mind's eye, see the Master standing in the circle of light that we are making, and be aware of your teachers beside you or behind you, sending their God's love into you as you go through this class. And see a beam of light coming out from the Master to each one of us. Now with the light of understanding, right now, turn loose of the moment before now and the moment after now. Release all concern or worries, and let God's light cleanse you of all of this, and be fulfilled with His abundance that is everywhere present. Thank you, Father. Good evening, my dear ones. This is Don, coming to you from these realms of love and light. It is with great pleasure that we look forward to these nights, weekly nights, that you come to attend this class. And let me remind you that there are many, many on this side of the veil attending a class just as you are, for they did not have such an opportunity when they were in the physical. As we move into this class and the understanding of this class, finding yourself, let us realize that when you are worried or concerned, when you are distraught or whatever, you are not finding yourself. You are finding what you call trouble and problems. But you can use these so-called trouble and problems as stepping stones instead of tripping stones. When you open your mind and your heart to divine love and light and to these higher realms, we can adjust your thinking. We will not think for you, but if you adjust your thinking, is what I wanted to say, then you're open for help. You see, God gave us free will, and it's a very powerful law and cannot be invaded in any way. So as long as you continue to worry and be concerned, then we cannot and God cannot do anything for you until you lay down your burdens of worry and concern and open your heart and your mind to the light of God's love. In the light of God's love, all answers are there. All answers to any problem, so-called, all answers to your heart and the needs of your heart. There is within each one of you some times when you allow yourself to be concerned and worry about things that need not be worried about. I tell you, my dear ones, if you would spend this time and energy that you use in worry and concern, and put these things into the law as you understand it, and affirm the truth that life is abundant everywhere present. Affirm the truth that you are abundant because you live in the kingdom of God. And God is abundant. He has all there is, and He is willing to give it to you if you open your mind and your heart to accept it. He cannot do this unless you do open, because He cannot break His law of free will. And when you continue to be concerned and to worry about things that always work out anyway, some way, then you get in your own way because you are standing in the light and casting a shadow of darkness on the places that you want to have divine light and love and healing power. You are a child of God. You inherit all that God is and has. He is available to you at all times, for He is the life force that you are. Could you but understand this, you could open your heart and your mind and release yourself to God. Then He could fill your cup to overflowing with happiness and joy and peace and His divine love, and the abundance of life will be flowing to and through you at all times. These are not idle words, my dear ones. They are truth. Truth with a capital T, as Donald would say. As you consider this and think about it, just let it be. Do not analyze it or mull it over. How can this be? And it's not happening for me or anything like that. Just accept it and lay down your burdens. The Master said, "My yoke is light." And in the olden days, when the oxen wore a yoke to pull the plow, it was difficult. But the Master said, "My yoke is light." And He meant this two different ways. Light meaning easy and not such a burden, but also light meaning understanding and wisdom. Divine love and light can pave the way for you out of any situation, out of any condition, and make it whole and complete and fulfill your needs. But I tell you, you cannot just listen to this class and then walk out the door. You have to sit down and work it. You do not have to always be sitting to work it. And you must work with yourself and changing your consciousness, changing your thoughts about life, changing your thoughts about lack and shortage. I tell you, there is no lack. There is no shortage of anything in God's kingdom. And God's kingdom is all that there is. When your awakening comes, you will feel a great release. You will feel as if a great burden has been lifted from you. No one can do this for you, but we can assist you by talking to you about the truth, talking to you about how to turn loose of these burdens that you carry around all the time. And they make you tired. And they keep you from having the things that you want. God does not want to keep you from having anything that you want. Even those things that could be harmful to you, He will not stand in your way. You will, of course, have to pay the price for those things that harm you. But His door and His hands are always open and out to you. Remember this. Meditate on it. And let the light that shines forth from Him fill your mind with understanding. Do not struggle so much. Try to be more relaxed and more at peace. Try to understand that when you struggle and you're constantly worried and tense and strained, then that puts a barrier between you and the Father, you and your teachers and guides. And they are just an extension of God. They are there to follow God's directions in helping you in whatever way that you will let them. It is ironic, my dear ones, that you cry out for help and then stand in the way of your getting the help. I do not condemn you. I am just trying to communicate with you what is happening. When you started in these classes, you started with the self-hypnosis and then the self-awareness. And in the self-awareness, it taught you to relax and be at peace. And the self-confidence class taught you to accept yourself and others as they are. This is building the foundation. And if you are having difficulty, you should go back to these classes and read them and listen to the tapes and allow yourself to have a new beginning. For my dear ones, every morning when you awaken to this earth plane, you have a new beginning. You have new opportunities. But when you are worried and concerned, these opportunities are there, but they do not come to you because you have put a barrier between you and the opportunities that life wants to give you. This is difficult sometimes for you to accept and to realize, but I tell you, it is truth, eternal truth. And when you can accept it, and when you can put the law into action for you instead of against you, then God can work through you in all of His glory, and you can shine with His love, and all is well. Your cup is filled to overflowing. And there are no problems, just opportunities. When you consider having a problem, ask yourself, thank you, Father, for this opportunity. Show me the truth about it. Show me why I'm having it and what it is that I need to learn from it. In this kind of thinking, you will gain much in your growth. And every day brings new opportunities. Every day you have the choice of being tense and worried and anxious, or of being relaxed and at peace and sending God's love to the whole universe and many other things. and being grateful for what you have. This is such an important lesson. Be grateful for what you have, and more will be added to you. If you could remember this, and continually, it matters not how much you have, or how much you think you don't have, it matters not. Be grateful for what you have. You have life. Be grateful for this. This is a place to begin. Thank you, Father, for this life that you have given me. Thank you for the opportunities that are in front of me. Help me to look through the inner eye so that I can see and understand these opportunities through your eyes, God. Help me to love myself so I can learn to love others and to love you. When you allow these kind of thoughts to run through your mind all through the day, then you have no room for dark thoughts, trouble and problem thoughts, and you're filled to overflowing with the light of God's love and His healing power. It is there waiting for you, my dear ones. No one can take it up for you but you. No one can think for you, and that is what it comes down to, is your thinking. Your thinking is the bridge from the spirit, the spiritual realms that you think of, to the lower dimensions. And this makes the difference of what kind of thoughts that you think, what kind of feelings that you feel, the attitudes that you have, the moods, the desires. This all comes under the heading of thought. And as you learn to understand this and learn to accept it, that it is true, and stop waiting for a miracle to happen. Miracles do happen, but they happen because you have created them. But they're not likely to happen the first time you ask God for help, but they could. God works through you, not for you. And you must think this, remember this. And it doesn't matter how good a worker you are. It doesn't matter how much effort that you put into something. What does matter? It matters how you and God are. That is the most important thing. Do you have a personal relationship with God? Do you talk to Him as you talk to the people around you? Do you ask for His help? Do you allow yourself to be a channel for His divine love to flow through? Are you grateful often through the day for the many blessings that you have? Think on these things, my dear ones, for this is the truth. And when you can take the truth and incorporate it into your consciousness, you do not have to strain at life. You do not have to worry and concern. All you need do is follow through, do the best that you can, and send love into your work, into your life, and into all those around you. Send God's love and light ahead of you on the path, and hold out your hand in your mind's eye that He may lead you. There's so much that life and God can do for you if you allow it. But when your habit is so ingrained with worry and concern over little things, And of course, you think that having money enough to pay your bills are large things, but my dear ones, they are small things relative to the glory and the majesty of the God being that you are. Yes, you do have to pay your bills, and they'll turn off your electricity. But when you think in this way, you see, you're working against yourself. But when you trust God, ask for His help, send love into it, and then release it to Him, and think no more about it until you do it again, but always doing it in a positive way, knowing that God is helping you, that life is bringing forth whatever you desire and whatever you believe that you deserve. This is something that does hold back many things from you. And this is not always a conscious thought. It could be a subconscious pattern that you're not aware of, that you believe that you do not deserve the good things in life. You have to lay these burdens down, turn loose of them. The example has been given many times, but if you had your arms and hands loaded with packages and things, and someone said, I want to give you $1 million. And you said, well, I can't take it because I can't turn loose of these things. This is what is happening, my dear one, that you're unwilling to lay down your burdens. You're unwilling to give up the worry and concern and the doubt. And as you continually go through this in your feelings, in your moods, your attitudes, and especially when you put emotion behind it, and the power of emotion, this instills it as a stronger habit pattern. Every time that you think in this way, turn it around and thank God for all the things that you desire. The Master Teacher said to you, pray believing that you have already received, and you shall receive. In other words, you don't have the physical evidence of it, but assume the role, as Donald says, and accept it as yours now. This is putting a pattern into the law. This is opening the door for it to come through. But you see, the opposite is true. When you sit and think and worry about what you don't have, be grateful for what you do have, and more will be added to you. And when you get through with your desire for material things, and raise your consciousness up to thinking of how beautiful life is, and how wonderful it is to have the opportunity to be a channel for God's love to flow through, then are you rewarded greatly. For it is a beautiful, beautiful feeling to be released to God and to see the things in your life manifesting through you and know whereof they come. You see, when you take a bunch of things and hold on to them, you clog the channel, and especially those things that are negative, those things that are worry and concern. Even when you have a lot of money or supply, you should not hang on to them. You should put them to work. Put them in a savings or something like this, and then they are working. They are helping to buy homes for people. But when you hide them under your mattress and continue to be concerned about what you don't have, it is like the story of the talents. The man who was given 1 talent said, "I was afraid and I hid it, and the master took it away from him." Where the other 2 invested their talents, and he gave them more. This is the way that life works, and it works in so many ways. In this same example, in the same principle, it works in your receiving love and affection. It works in your understanding God's love. When you lay down your misunderstanding, and when you open your mind and heart to the flow of God's love, it works in your relating to others around you in a loving and positive way. And this gives you a good feeling. And whatever you do in your work or with your life, do it as unto God and be grateful for it. And more will be added to you. This is finding your real self. This is finding the you that has all the power that God has. The you that knows the truth. Even though you don't have any physical evidence, you believe it and know that it can come to you when you lay down all those packages, all those burdens. Then you have room for it to come in. Then can you receive? And you give it, and you receive more. This is the way that your economy works on your plane. When you had your depression in 29, the reason that the depression come and stayed so long was everyone became afraid and would not spend their money. They would not release it. This was the only reason that you had a depression. There is no lack of anything in the whole of life. Let us stop at this time and see if you have some answers or questions that you would like to share. Thank you. It is good when you ask questions, and this makes more interesting, and this makes the contact with more minds to the source. Our source is the master standing in the center of our being, in our circle of light, and your teachers standing beside you. They are channels. They are workers in the vineyard of God. And they have come here tonight to be with you, for it is their joy and their pleasure to help in any and every way that you will let them.
I have a question in regard to what you said earlier about when we get past the concept of the longingness of the materialism and can move on from that point and just be more aware and more longing for just spiritual evolvement, so to speak. Do we necessarily have to go to the materialism? and I'm doing my own little battle with that too, so to speak.
Most people do on the physical plane, and when they understand that there is an abundance of everything and you stop struggling so much, then whatever you need comes to you. When you are working in the vineyard of God, no matter what you do, it is God's kingdom everywhere present. Whether you're a typist, whether you're a disc digger, whatever you do, this is working for God. And you should think of it in this way. And when you do, you see, everything becomes easier. Everything becomes light and lighter. So it matters not whether you are doing physical work or whether you're doing work like Donald does. You are all working in the kingdom of God, in the Father's vineyard. It is how you feel about it, it is what you think about it that makes the difference. When you read the prophet and what Khalil Gibran had to say about work, this is a beautiful way of expressing it. He said, if you work with bitterness, then you put a poison in the bread. But if you work with love, then it feeds the whole individual. When you're baking bread, and many other things that he said about this, you have the ability to do this, and you have the ability to increase your supply if you feel you must. But do not make that the most important thing in your life. Let God be the most important thing in your life, because, my dear ones, it is through God that you receive your supply. And if you are not in harmony with life, if you're not in tune with yourself, then you're not in harmony with life. And if you're continually worried and concerned and concentrating on what you don't have, then you're standing in your own way. Did this help your understanding?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes. Speak a little louder, please.
For about 6 months now, a good number of my clients have expressed real concerns about the economic situation in the Glendale area without the metaphysical understanding and the realization of the plenty for everyone type of thing. How do I convey to them that they shouldn't be so concerned, or is there any way to reach those individuals?
Just don't add to what they say. Do not agree with them, but do not disagree either. You see, when someone complains about what they don't have, you don't have to reply. You don't have to go along with their thinking either. Because when you know the universal truth, you know that there is an abundance of everything. And yes, the channels do get clogged up because you clog them up. And those who come to you with these worries and concern have clogged up their channels. You see, when one little thing or two happens, then everybody starts talking about it. And I wonder if we're going to have a recession or a depression. And they keep it up, and they're lending it more power. Because you see, my dear one, you are gods, and everyone else are gods. and you have the ability to create as God creates. And it is through the lack of understanding of the laws that they do this. And they're standing in their own way of progress. It is important for you to demonstrate the abundance of material wealth. For this reason, it is much easier to demonstrate material wealth than it is to break a negative pattern in some other way. Much easier. And then you see that the law does work. Then you can go on to something else. And think of the 9 attributes in the booklet called The Greatest Thing in the World by Henry Drummond. There are many more attributes of love. But when you take these attributes and you practice them, and you hold your thoughts strong, and when one worry or concern thought comes in, send love into it and cancel it out and replace it with a thought of knowing the truth. Does this help your understanding?
Yes, thank you. Would it be beneficial, Don, to possibly say in your mind when an individual is in a negative state like that, or is having some great fears, to say possibly, the Christ in me greets the Christ in you, or blesses the Christ in you, and come up higher in God's love, or something to that effect? I'm trying to practice some of that in my mind when I work with people.
Yes, I heard the word Don in there. Is that what you said?
I say good Don.
You say to Don.
I was speaking you.
Well, Don is not speaking. This is Gadon.
I didn't say good Don.
You said Gadon. I see.
I may not have said it well.
All right. And it's through this body and this channel that I have to work. And it seems ridiculous to you when I come from such a higher plane that I have to work through the channel that I am offered. And when I'm in this body, in a sense, not completely, but I have the inability to hear as well. And I do not see everything that happens in your room as you see it. Some people have been puzzled over this. But you see, it is working in the way that Donald has been taught. And if I were to completely take over the body, then I could walk around and open my eyes even and speak to you, and it would be more prevalent to you maybe. But this is the way that we work. This is the way that he was conditioned and taught. And I feel that it is a better way than allowing someone to take over completely your mind and your body. Does this help your understanding? Or did we get away from the real question?
I like what you said, but thank you for that. But it is away from from all I was making was a statement and asking if it would not be a good thing to do in one's mind when an individual is troubled and is having some difficulties and you're dealing with them, in your mind to bless them in Christ's name, or cop higher, or make some statement to the effect that you recognize the Christ in them.
Yes, always do this. Always, whether you say it aloud or not. To some, it is better to say it silently. But to those who have ears to hear, you can say it openly. But do send God's love to them, or whatever you do, in the name of God, and know that this clears the way for the communication to come through, so that they will be happier with themselves, and you will have made a communication that is helpful. This is what we are speaking of, isn't it? Is it not?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Are there other questions this evening?
Yes. About 3 months ago, I ordered gift for friends of mine, and I wasn't aware. I was kind of cloudy, and I sent $850, way beyond what the gifts were worth, because I thought that I would be ordering more, and then I have not received the gifts from my friends, nor have I in a manner so that I sent him a gift of that money, evidently. And I told him that I had ordered things like that from other places, and they gave me credit for it, or sent back what I didn't use. And I, at times, I'm erratic, and I don't use common sense. But should I just say, God, you handle that for me? I don't know what I did that made this come out this way. But should I just say, God, you handle this situation for me? I've been sending the man God's love. I don't know what to do otherwise. And or do I just say, God, use all of that money to bless somebody else, and just bless the money and let it go? What should I do?
You should definitely let go of thinking about it.
Well, I haven't been thinking about it much. But I mean, if I just say, God, use that for other people, for other happiness, I do wish that the man would have given the gifts that I ordered for the people I ordered them to. Because I didn't know how much the thing would be, but I wanted to more than cover it. And I didn't stop to realize that I'd more than covered it very, very much. But I've released the money, but I just don't know how to handle it. Do I just say, God, send that money where it's best needed?
If you have truly released it, then you need not even talk about it.
Thank you.
There is an abundance of supply, and money is a symbol of God's abundance.
Well, I just wanted to do something for somebody.
Well, that's good.
But I'm ashamed that I'm so erratic. And I don't...
Never be ashamed of anything.
I don't always think on other people.
See, repeating these words brings on more of this condition. And
I'll drop it right now.
yes, that's the way to do it. Lay your burdens down. This is the theme of this class tonight, I guess, is lay your burdens down. Turn loose of worry and concern. It does no good, and it can do a lot of harm, mostly to you. God is there continually working in and through you when you allow him. But if you decide to let the little self have control, then God turns loose, and you go through these unnecessary worry and concern. Because when you leave it to God, He will take care of it. But you have to completely leave it to God. Not say, I release this to you, God, but then an hour later you're worrying about it again, see. So you haven't truly released it. You've taken it back. And saying, in a sense, God, you can't handle this. I better worry about it some more.
Well, I sent God's love into the situation.
Yes. But see, even you're talking about it tonight, it points out that you have not truly released it. I understand why you're bringing it up, and it's good that you ask questions like this so we can discuss them. That you made a mistake or someone else made a mistake, don't make a big deal out of it. Do not pile negative upon negative and create more karma. Just release it.
I don't want any more karma, any kind of karma.
No. Well, the life force that is flowing through you is able to accomplish all things when you open your heart and your mind, and when you allow the Father's love to flow through you, when you allow the Master to walk beside you and feel His love for you, and to be aware of your teachers and guides who serve you from this side of the veil, you would be amazed if you could see how much help you have. And you would be disturbed, maybe, if you could see how much help that you deny, that you block off from yourself. Are there any other questions this evening? This has been a good class this evening, and it teaches us many things. When you find yourself, your true self, then you are not concerned about your supply, any earthly thing. You're not concerned about at all. Think how much money did Jesus have? How did He get by and eating and all of these things? Many nights He did not have a roof over His head. It did not matter.
But he was his mother was the niece of the richest man on earth, Joseph of Arimathea.
Well, you are all rich when you love and when you know how to love. This is the most wealthy of all things, is to love and send God's love through you. This is more wealthy than all the money, all the gold in the world. A few minutes of understanding God's love and embracing it in your heart and then sending it out to the world is worth more than all the money in the world. Money is a symbol, and you have placed gold as the symbol for your money and your country. So realize that it has, the paper money that you have has no value to it at all until you spend it. And I do not say go out and spend all your money. Be wise in what you spend, and it does not hurt to put away a little in the savings, but put it somewhere where it is working, where it is helping someone else. If the banks fail, that doesn't matter. God has an abundance of money and everything else that you need. And look forward, my dear ones, to the time when you do not have to support this physical body or be concerned about a job or money or physical things at all. You have the power and the ability to be in that level of consciousness now, but you are not doing it now. And whenever your time has come, then you will be doing it. And you will travel this planet without a cent in your pocket and be supplied with everything that you need. This has been a beautiful evening, my dear ones, and we look forward to these evenings, and we do look to see if they have given you insights, if they are helping you. And we do see that sometimes you understand, but the most important thing is that you put it to work in your life, in your daily living. And if you catch yourself slipping back, send God's love into it and start over again, and know that His power is behind you, and know that you could not lift your little finger without His power. You are all beautiful children of God, and your lights are shining tonight. Let them so shine the rest of your incarnation. And when you come back home to rest for a while, you will learn many, many things that you can learn these things also while you're in the body. It is much better because that moves you forward, and then when you come home again, you're much farther down the road to being one with God. God bless you, my dear ones. We love you dearly. Good evening.
And just help in
We stand and hold hands. The state of coming to the physical with all of this wonderful wisdom and spiritual beauty that we've been given. Let us think of bringing it down to the physical realm and sending out with God's love and light and healing power this understanding for all those who are open to it. And as they awaken, they have it there in their aura. As they are open, they receive it and know the truth of it. Let us send God's love ahead of us into the sleep, and draw every thought, word, will be in every situation